Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a very special video here on the channel. Now this video is special for two main reasons. First of all, we're going to be celebrating Valentine's Day as it is February 14th, which is why I'm currently decked out in my pink hoodie, and the gameplay showcase is going to be centered around the newest chase variant to add to my collection, Lovebug, also known as Metallic Red Dunebug, but I call him Lovebug because his red paint has a pinkish tint to it, which really makes it a great reflection of Valentine's Day in terms of the colours chosen. And boy, this chase variant, the camera right now is not doing this justice because it looks so good. It's very shiny and it really pops out for the pinkish tint that's added to the red to make the colours that much more unique and vibrant. So it's a very impressive chase variant that's going to be the main centre of this celebration on Valentine's Day. But it's not only Valentine's Day we're going to be celebrating in this video, because it's also my 7-year anniversary of creating YouTube videos. It was 7 years ago on this very day that I made my first ever YouTube video for this channel, which you can find in the description below. It has since been archived, so it doesn't have the same publishing date, but it was filmed and edited on February 14th of 2017. So with that video turning 7 years old, I feel like there's only one appropriate way to celebrate the 7-year anniversary of the channel, and that is with my favourite game of all time, let alone my favourite Skylanders game, Skylanders Trap Team. Now we're going to combine these two ideas by playing through Skylanders Trap Team, but what I would deem the most romantic level for the sake of the Valentine's Day celebration. So we're going to find out what it is after the intro sorted itself out. But here is one final thing to point out about the 7-year anniversary, and that's the fact that we're going to change the watermark in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, so that now it's no longer the 6-year channel icon, it's the 7-year channel icon, where obviously the number has changed to reflect the number of years I've been making YouTube content. It's changed from 6 to 7, and I've also added a little Autobot insignia to Igniter's chest, obviously to reflect my love of Transformers. But other than that, the channel icon is exactly the same, so it's pretty cool now that we have a brand new watermark to go forward with all of my videos for this upcoming year. And now, if that hasn't been said and done, let's roll the intro and see what the most romantic level is in Skylanders Trap Team. Now with that intro out of the way, you can immediately see that I've loaded up Time Town as the most romantic level in Skylanders Trap Team, as determined by yours truly. We'll talk about why I've chosen this level in a short while, because for the moment being, it's time to address the golden beetle in the room. Quite literally, because I have chosen the upgrade pathway for Dunebug, which leads to him donning his golden armour. This is firstly because decking something out in gold automatically makes that thing 10 times more awesome, and with Dunebug that is no exception. But secondly, jewellery is commonly gifted at Valentine's, so naturally when it comes to jewellery, most of it is either made of gold or made to look like gold. This makes Dunebug look like an awesome pendant that you could give as a nice piece of jewellery as a gift for your Valentine. With that out of the way, it's time to look into the history of how the Skylanders franchise has represented Valentines through the years. It started with a mobile game of all things. During Valentine's Day 2013, the world was introduced to our very first Lost Islands alter ego, known as Cupid Flameslinger. Alter egos were alternative versions of familiar Skylanders designed around a specific theme. Unfortunately, these awesome designs were never given physical toys or console counterparts to players, which is a shame because these changes from the original designs were vast, detailed, and incredibly fun to look at. As for Cupid Flameslinger, he was given love-shaped arrows as well as heart embodiments on his shoulder pads, which were now dyed red to contrast the white and the rest of his suit. These colours combine into pink, and it gives the figurine overall a very Valentine's Day feeling, which mimics the Valentine's character Cupid himself. It's an alternate design which suits Flameslinger's character very well, and it acts as the perfect teaser for the many great alter egos to come. one of which was Charmin Cobra for Valentine's Day 2015, clearly a design inspired by Cobracadabra's King variation, where the golden colours on King Cobracadabra have instead been substituted for the colour pink to give this character more of a Valentine's feeling. After all, there is nothing more romantic than the colour pink, used to invoke the feelings of comfort, warmth and hope. It's also a colour associated with good health and success in general terms, so it's where we get phrases like "in the pink" and "everything is rosy." Hence the importance of pink in representing healthy and successful relationships in the first place, which is what makes it such a crucial colour for Valentine's Skylanders colour schemes to follow. But diverging away from Lost Island's alter egos to instead look at Skylanders from the mainline console games with physical figurines to be released, there is unfortunately a lot less to talk about because we have one in-game variant and one in-game variant only. That being Love Potion Fizzy Frenzy Pop Fizz, which is very obviously a Valentine's themed variant because love is quite literally in the name of the character, and the colour scheme is based around the colour pink, which, as we've discussed already, is a colour used during Valentine's Day as it's a day about relationships, and nothing speaks more about a healthy and successful relationship than the colour pink. Now, you could make the argument that Scarlet and Genie is also a Valentine Skylander, with her Scarlet colour scheme and first colour Scarlet invoking the feeling of passion and courage, which are all things required in a healthy relationship, but I personally wouldn't call this a Valentine's themed Skylander, and according to a recent poll I posted on my community page, over 70% of you would agree with me. Plus, Scarlet seems to have more of an orange tint as opposed to a pinkish tint, unlike the red metallic Dunebug, which does have that pinkish tint, which makes it far more of a Valentine's variant than Scarlet and Genie could ever possibly hope of being. But there was meant to also have been a second in-game Valentine's themed Skylander to follow Love Potion Fizzy Frenzy Pop Fizz. This was a variant for Buckshot in Skylanders Imaginators, known as Heartbreaker Buckshot. Once again, with his name being so on the nose, there is no mistaking this as anything other than a Valentine's themed Skylander. This variant, however, was never released, which is a shame because the contrasting white and pink colours do suit the design very well. Unfortunately, the lack of pupils and the just dyed red eyes resulted in this character having a rather demonic look, which is the opposite of hope and passion it is meant to be invoked by the Valentine celebrations. As such, this wasn't really an appropriate thing to release for a game so heavily marketed towards a younger crowd, hence why the variant was cancelled in the end and never released. I do find it funny that the characters we've talked about so far, with the exception of Cupid Flameslinger, have all been Magic Skylanders. Apparently, Magic and Valentine's Day go together like bread and butter. With that being said, let's talk about what makes Timetown so romantic. France is renowned for its fine dining, and its capital is even referred to as the romantic capital of the world, or the city of love, as you will. Therefore, a level so heavily based on French culture also carries over those same traits to create a rather romantic atmosphere. There are wooden puppet shows all over the level, so imagine setting up a picnic with some delicious food, some fine wine. You can listen to the incredible music that can be heard throughout the level and just watch an incredible show with your Valentines. There are fewer things more romantic than that. Plus, with the fine architecture dotted around the level, you certainly wouldn't be short of any spectacular views for an even greater romantic atmosphere. I'm sure Chef Zeppelin also offers spectacular views, with it being a blimp in the sky and all that, but the food wouldn't be safe, given the simple fact that the head chef, he has a tendency to cook up bombs. But even if you're not being blown up, what you're left with is food that has an overindulgence of spice poured onto it, which would ruin the entire meal as opposed to elevating it. So yeah, it's safe to say that we can cross that level off the list. But that concludes our Valentine's theme discussion for the video. Let me know in the comment section below how you've spent your Valentine's Day. Whatever you were doing, I sincerely hope that you enjoyed it. But for the final portion of this video, it's time for me to finally talk about the past 7 years I've been making YouTube content. Man, it is just so mad for me to be saying that out loud, and it just really evokes the memories of such a wild ride it has been from beginning to end. I've loved every part of it, and my favourite part of it has been how I've evolved as a person over the years, just as how my content has evolved and gotten better. I started making YouTube content 7 years ago because I had ideas for content I wanted to make that could give me an outlet for my personal self-expression, and I continue making content 7 years later for that very same reason. Making videos comes so naturally to me because I'm so driven to express myself in such a unique manner, and this motivation that continues to drive me from deep inside is a fire that will never be extinguished. In other words, by making content, it makes me feel freed on a deep emotional scale, and there is nothing that could possibly stop me from creating content like this. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. YouTube content. I make it, I'm happy with how I felt making it, and it shows the entire internet that I have something of value because I felt as though it's something worth putting out there in the first place, which is what gives it value. Few things give me this sense of value, which again is why making YouTube content is so important to me on a personal scale, and it's something I'll never stop doing in some fashion or another. But what turns YouTube videos into something more than just content on a screen is the people who watch them. Everybody who interacts with the videos are what turns them into a shared experience. I've simply provided the content, whilst you're the ones who've turned it into an experience which we can all share as one incredible and deeply passionate community. But these are mere words which are incapable of even beginning to tap into the profound gratitude I have towards each and every one of you. To just watch a video is to care about its contents, and as you can tell from all this mushy business, I care a lot. So having that in common is deeply humbling to me. To make just one person's day that little bit better, all because of a YouTube video I created, is so impactful to me, and it's such an honour for me to have provided that for you. It's me who's the lucky one here, I cannot emphasise this enough. So one final thank you before the outro of the video rolls itself out, and this one comes deeply from the heart.
Thanks, and I love you all.
I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!